A series of fascinating photographs has revealed a behind-the-scenes look at the former Department of Education of the Deaf. The department, which was in Manchester until 1955, is shown in these black and white photos taken around 3 years before it shut. The pictures show children interacting with medical professionals and parents at what is believed to have been the first facility of its kind in the UK. In one strange image, a psychologist, Mr. P.C. Kendall, bangs a drum beside the ear of a young girl in what appears to have been a rudimentary hearing test. Others show a boy playing with farm animals as he is having his hearing assessed, and a 14-month-old child being taught to lip read by her mother. Another shot shows a little girl fiercely concentrating on her wooden toy as a woman tinkers with the testing equipment in the background. The Department of Education of the Deaf was a department of the University of Manchester and the first of its kind in the UK, according to a report published in the British Journal of Educational Studies in 1956. It was founded by Sir James E. Jones, a cotton merchant from Lancashire whose son, Ellis, was born deaf. Ellis was so well educated by a private tutor that, at a time when most deaf children were taught at poor-quality special residential schools, he was able to attend the University of Oxford when he grew older. Sir James became so knowledgeable, for the time, and impassioned about the education of deaf children that he was able to set up the pioneering school. Deaf schools had existed for more than 100 years before Sir James set up his department in 1919, but deaf children usually had to be sponsored by wealthy relatives or benefactors to attend. And the conditions are believed to have been poor, with the quality of teaching low and children badly fed. In these schools the children created their own physical language which would eventually evolve into sign language. Until the late 1900s parents were advised to discourage their children from using sign language, which was usually only used among deaf people, because it could prevent them learning to speak or lip read, according to the website Sign Community. Today, there are more than 50,000 deaf children living in the UK and 32 million deaf children globally. 5 babies are born deaf every day. What causes hearing loss and is it permanent? Hearing loss can be temporary or permanent. It can also develop gradually with age or come on suddenly. Hearing loss in just 1 year may be due to a buildup of wax, an infection, or a burst eardrum. Sudden loss in both ears may be due to damage from a very loud noise or side effects of certain medication. Gradual hearing loss may be the result of fluid building up, known as glue ear, a bony growth, called otosclerosis, or skin cell accumulation, known as cholesteatoma. Gradual hearing loss in both ears is usually caused by aging or exposure to loud noises over many years. Hearing loss sometimes gets better on its own. A buildup of wax can also be treated by being suctioned out or softened with drops. However, hearing loss can also be permanent, with treatment then focusing on making the most of the hearing that remains. Implants, attached to the skull or are placed deep in the ear. If hearing aids are ineffective, hearing loss can be prevented by avoiding loud music and wearing headphones that block out background noise. Ear defenders should also be worn if you work in a noisy environment, such as a building site. and ear protection should be worn at concerts and other noisy events.